Let's try that again. Good evening. All right, Fayetteville, we can do better than that. Good evening. When I say forward together, you say not one step back. Forward together.
Not one step back.
Forward together.
Not one step back.
Forward together.
Not one step back.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of y'all who are tuning in from across the country and around the globe on our Repairs of the Breach live stream. My name is Clinton Wright, and I am one of the social justice organizers at Repairs of the Breach. And I am so excited to be here for our fourth stop. I'm losing count of how many stops we're doing on this tour here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, as we mobilize forward together towards our march next week. Before we get started, can I see a raise of hands for anyone who's with the media tonight? Awesome, great. I'm gonna come check in with you folks in just a moment. And to get us started, to get us all energized and excited for the program ahead and set the feeling right, I'd love to introduce my friend, my colleague, Yara Allen, our Director of Theomusicology and Cultural Arts at Repairs of the Breach.
Forward together. Oh, y'all sound like a choir. Forward together. How about this one right here? Love forward together. I love it. You were really supposed to repeat after me, but I didn't tell you that. Okay. Okay, let's try it. Love forward together. Yes, yes. Okay, so what we're going to do, as Clinton said, I'm Yara Allen, Director of Theomusicology and Cultural Arts with Repairs of the Breach. And while it's not always fun to have to do this, sometimes it is, because you meet wonderful choirs like this, people who are ready to sing, lift their voices for justice. I'm not too good standing up here, so I'm going to come down. Okay, so what we're going to do, actually, the worship band is going to take us in a little bit, okay? All right, worship band. But what we're going to do, before they come, I'm going to ask those of you who can, if you physically cannot stand, we understand that. Somebody will stand for you. I'm going to ask you to stand. And everywhere we go, we make the same statement. We stand together because we stand together. And then we stand together because if you're like me and you just had a little something to eat, the notes kind of get lost somewhere. So it gives you a little bit of room for you to stretch and your diaphragm to do what it needs to do to sing. And also it creates a special kind of energy in the room, an energy that we call collective effervescence. That energy that bubbles over when you see the person next to you, not just singing, but maybe getting a little rock, a little clap, a little bounce, a little something, right? And you can't help it and you start doing it too. So that's that collective effervescence. Let's start off with a song that we all know. It came from the civil rights era of the 40s, 50s, 60s. We shall not be moved. Like a tree planted. And if there was ever a time that we need to make that statement, it's right now. Somebody called me the other day and said, Yara, my professor said that we need to decide where we stand and stay there. I said, right, we shall not be moved. Get where you're going to get, plant your feet, and stay there. So are you ready to sing this? Okay. All right. We didn't rehearse, so the magic is just going to happen, right? Here we go. Well, before I start, are there any singers out here in the audience? Can you come up, please? Come on. Come on. Because the other thing, the other thing is that, that's it. Come on. There you go. There you go. All right. Okay, this is looking good. All right, all right. All right, brothers in the house, I know you're somewhere. Oh, don't make me call you. Okay? I mean, if you don't see, we said to a group last night, if you don't see yourself represented up here, that's because you're out there. All right? That's because you're out there. So we're going to give you like 10 seconds to look at this and see what's missing. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. And as we're singing, if it hits you, just come on up, okay? And this is what we call the Justice Jump-In Choir. I didn't ask anybody what you sing, alto, soprano, tenor, bass, baritone, or in the shower. I simply said, come on. And that's what we're going to have to do in this moment. We're just going to have to lift our voices, whatever they sound like, right? All right, here we go. We shall not be moved. We shall, oh, just like a tree planted by the water, we shall not be moved. We shall not be moved. You just stand. We shall not be moved, just like a tree that's planted by the water. We shall not be moved. Now I'm going to drop out and I'm going to let you all sing it. All right.
We shall not be moved.
It sounds good.
We shall not be moved. Just like a tree
planted by the water, we shall not be moved.
Yeah, one more time. We shall not. We shall not be moved. We
shall not be moved.
just like a tree
Just
planted by the
water, we shall not be moved.
We fight against oppression. We shall not be moved. We fight against oppression. We shall not. Oh, just like a tree planted by the wall. All right, all together. We shall not be moved. Good, good, good. You sound wonderful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Thank you so much. All right, now let's give it up for the worship band.
That mic's not on. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. My name's John. I'm the worship leader here at Crossroads. And first of all, just big welcome to all of our guests this evening. We're so happy to have you here tonight to just be gathering for this purpose. And the first song that we're going to sing, let's see. There we go. We got it. Okay. And I'm glad that you're all seated once more, but I am going to invite you once again, if you're willing and able, to stand and sing this next song with us. And this is called This Little Light of Mine. We definitely know it, but I want to share with you just a couple additions that we made here at the end that Yara sent to me earlier this week. When we get to the third verse, normally that is, won't let Satan blow it out. I'm going to let it shine. But what we're going to say tonight is, won't let hatred blow it out. I'm going to let it shine. And then on verse 4, normally it says, I'm going to let it shine till Jesus comes. I'm going to let it shine. But tonight we're going to say, let it shine till justice comes. I'm going to let it shine. And I want you, as you sing this song, to let the positivity and happiness of the message of a song like this kind of fill you up. Because, yeah, amen. No hatred, only justice, okay? I'm really, really excited to sing this with you. Let's do it. Oh, yeah. Here you go.
This little light of mine,
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Won't let hatred.
Won't let hatred blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let hatred blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let hatred blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine till justice comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine till justice comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine till justice comes. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
It's a light.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Amen. All right. We've got one more song that we're going to sing for you real quick. And if you've been here with us on a Sunday before, you'll probably know this song, but you may not have heard it. This is called For Everyone Born. And over the last couple of years, this has kind of become sort of our theme song here at Crossroads, just because of that message of, the way I always think of it is, when we say everybody, we mean everybody, okay? Everybody is united under the love of God, and everybody can be united as believers in Christ and as a family of believers. So we're going to sing For Everyone Born. My guitar might make funny sounds because this thing is broken, but it's okay, don't worry about it. All right, For Everyone Born.
For everyone born, a place at the table. For everyone born, clean water and bread. A shelter, a space, a safe place for growing. For everyone born, a star overhead. And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy, compassion and peace. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice, justice and joy.
Justice and joy. For woman and man.
For woman and man, a place at the table,
And all those between,
beyond and besides, expanding our world, dismantling power, each valued for what their voice can provide.
gay, bi, and straight.
For gay, bi, and straight, a place at the table, invited to wed, to baptize and preach, a rainbow of race and gender and color, for queer, trans, and ace, God's justice in reach. And God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy, compassion and peace. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice, justice and joy.
Justice and joy. Young and old.
For young and for old, a place at the table, a voice to be heard, a part in the song, the hands of a child in hands that are wrinkled. For young and for old, the right to belong. For bodies diverse, a place at the table, all manner of speech and movement and minds, enabled to lead and teach us new language. For bodies diverse, a church redesigned.
And
God will delight when we are creators of justice and joy, compassion and peace. Yes, God will delight when we are creators of justice, justice and joy.
Justice and joy. Amen. You may be seated.
I'm notorious in my church for being off the schedule, so maybe I'm off the schedule right now. But if you go to Crossroads, you probably understand that, because most Sundays I stand up at the wrong time. But welcome to Crossroads, y'all. We are so glad that you are here. I am the Reverend Gail Tabor. I am the pastor of this church. I've been here since July, and I can't tell you how wonderful it is to be a part of this church in this place. We're really glad that you have joined us here tonight. You may be longtime friends of Crossroads. You may be here for the very first time. Some of you may not consider yourself church people at all. Maybe you just came to hear Dr. Barber. That's all good. We're all here to hear Dr. Barber, right? I mean, that's why we're all here. But wherever you're coming from, you are welcome in this space. Crossroads exists because we believe faith is meant to show up at the intersection of real life, where belief meets justice, where hope meets hard truth, where love insists on being public. Our tagline at this church is that we desire more. And by that we mean we desire more honesty, we desire more courage, we desire more compassion, we desire more justice, and friends, we desire more inclusion because Jesus was inclusive. And we desire more of a faith that actually matters beyond a Sunday morning. We are a United Methodist Church, but more than that, we are a community that believes God's love is wide, that justice is holy work, and that silence in the face of harm is not faithfulness. We don't pretend to have all the answers, but we do believe in asking all the hard questions. We believe in telling the truth. We believe in standing together at the crossroads of faith and public life. And that's why it makes sense that we are gathered here today with Reverend Dr. Barber. Bishop Barber's voice reminds us that moral courage is not an abstract, it is lived, it is embodied, and it is costly. His work calls us to imagine a world where love of neighbor is not optional, where justice is not partisan, and where faith dares to speak out loud in the public square. So whether you're here seeking hope, clarity, a challenge, or simply more community, know this: you belong here tonight. May this space be one of courage, truth-telling, and holy imagination. Welcome to Crossroads, y'all. Pray with me, please. Holy and loving God, we come tonight opening ourselves to you, opening ourselves to the justice, to the mercy, to the way that you have called us into being your people here on this earth. May we walk in your light, and may we reflect your light into an ever-darkening world. Amen.
Segregated one store by taking a carton of chicken. The first congressional district has always been in a fight. You need to know about Golden Franks. The first congressional district has always been in a fight. You need to know about Golden Franks. He was a field secretary for Dr. King. He was fearless. One of Dr. King's greatest strategists down in places like Swan Quarter. He segregated one store by taking a carton of chickens in there and threw them, let's let them go. And said, if y'all want me to come in here, you're going to have to integrate, and I'll come get my chicken. Sarah Small was a leader of the Williamston Freedom Movement. She was the first black woman to run for the U.S. Congress, not out of Charlotte, not out of Durham, but out of Williamston, out of the East. This is the place that grew up Ella Baker. She talks about shine the light and the people will find a way.
I am here to represent the struggle that has gone on for 300 or more years. A struggle to be recognized as citizens in a country in which we were born.
The Southern Christian Leadership Conference. Dr. King didn't do that. Ella Baker got in there from the East and organized it. It was because of her that young folk gathered to found SNCC. Plymouth was a major piece of the Underground Railroad. We weren't taught that for a long time. By 1863, if you got to Plymouth, you were free. But the East was the battle. There's always a star in the East. People like John Hyman of Warren County, James O'Hara of Halifax County, Henry Chapman of Vance County. The last black person to be kicked out of the United States Congress, George Henry White.
They say every man needs protection.
And it took us nearly 100 years until we got Eva Clayton.
These maps are clearly the product of a plan to silence and dilute the power of the black voters in eastern North Carolina.
Medicaid and education.
Over the coming weeks and months, we will organize, mobilize, and build toward massive civic engagement as we move into the midterm elections.
If we can get all of these communities organized together across eastern North Carolina, people will say, what happened in eastern North Carolina? The president said that we were going to gerrymander this and get a new seat.
This needs to happen in every state, state-based, micro-level organizing. And we're beginning the model right here in North Carolina. When we come at you, we want you to know we're coming in love, but we're still coming.
I shall be
Forward together.
This, yeah, y'all
So
talk.
the newly redrawn congressional district, designed to help Republicans win an extra seat in the 2026 midterms.
When Daddy called, the MAGA Republicans jumped to do his bidding. But he's not from here.
You can come in if you'd like.
Trump never primed the backer down here in the East. Trump doesn't know anything about sending your children to underfunded school, and they still come out knowing what they need to know. When the whole East was flooded, Trump didn't see black and white come together. This is our home and our district. That's why we're gonna march from Wilson to Raleigh. We're here tonight, and we'll be here in the days to come in the East, because at the end of the Selma to Montgomery March in 1965, Dr. King stood in front of the Alabama State House and told 25,000 Americans that the greatest threat to the greedy oligarchy is when poor blacks and poor whites and others mobilize together and form a voting bloc that can fundamentally shift the economic architecture of our nation. In America today, we have fewer voting right protections than we did when the Voting Rights Act was passed in 1965. And state legislatures have abused their power to try to pick their voters rather than let the voters pick their legislators. Meanwhile, every day people are suffering while the greedy get richer and richer. Dr. King was right, and many others were right. The billionaires who think they can buy our politicians are afraid of people coming together across dividing lines and building power together. In 2013 and 2014, we together in this state built out the Moral Monday movement. And in 2014, more than 80,000 people showed up in Raleigh for a mass people's assembly. We mobilized our power. We mobilized our vision. We did not continue to just resist what others were doing. We claimed the world that we wanted, the society that we wanted. And what we did energized It was not partisan, it was principle. Here we are again now in 2026, and it's time to love forward together and mobilize. This is our Selma moment. And we need everybody, regardless of your race, your creed, your color, your religion, your sexuality, whoever you are. If you love voting rights for all, if you love abolishing poverty and bringing into reality living wage, if you love health care for all, if you love and grace and mercy and do not want to buy into the religious nationalism of hate and meanness and a lack of empathy, if you want to love forward together, welcoming immigrants rather than suffering ICE raids, if you love the environment and want to see it cared for rather than the polluters taking over, if you love fully supported public education, if you want to love, not hate, and to have peace and not war, to stand against unchecked militarization and the militarization of our cities, then it is time to come together and mobilize our power and our passion for justice. Then we now are in a moment where we must move from resistance to loving forward and mobilizing our power. So, from February 11th through the 14th, North Carolinians are going to be walking and marching and caravanning from Wilson to Raleigh. And on Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, we will hold a massive People's Assembly for a moral agenda in Raleigh, North Carolina, saying it is time to love forward together. We are marching from a district that MAGA extremists, because of a call from President Trump, decided to gerrymander the 1st Congressional District, take it away from the people. And we are inviting all defenders of democracy and champions of the common good to meet us in Raleigh on February 14th to reclaim a moral agenda, an agenda for going forward, to pursue the society and the democracy that we want, not only for ourselves, but for our children's children. For somebody's been hurting our people, and it's gone on far too long, and we won't be quiet anymore. We will love forward together.
Testing, great. Leave it up right there, I'll modulate. It's good. Now, I need 4 people, with Clinton, Brother Clinton, need y'all to grab all those flyers over there off the table, the flyers, because I'm teaching. No need to keep a flyer after the event is over. It's just a souvenir then. Now, how many of you all have a flyer about the 4, not the banners, the placards, but the flyer? Raise them up. Let me see your flyer. Let me see your flyer. Yeah, I need to see it. Everybody, because that means, no, that's a placard. Thank you. Flyer, show a flyer. Like this young lady. What's your name? What's your name? Michelle. Show them, Michelle. See, Clinton, y'all look around. See how many people don't have flyers? Now, give everybody at least 2 or 3. One for you, one for the person you're going to see tonight when you go to this grocery store, another one for the person that you're going to see at the gas station, and one for somebody that's MAGA, but they need to change and come on over here. We ain't hating nobody. Come on, let's give them out. We got people, not one. Y'all, they're not like gold bars. Just give them out freely. Be liberal. I thought y'all were liberals. Yeah, just grab my handful. Say, here, give them everybody all over the place. There's no need to keep anything. No, she didn't you gave her 1, honey. 2. Give her 3. Like she can have it. Make it like, thank you. Yeah. Make people feel welcome and wanted and give them all out. And these are for you to do what? Pass them out. Right. You got more people in here than Jesus had. He had 12, lost 1, and now they have billions. So nothing in this room. You can organize Fayetteville from right here. That's right? Yeah, put them out. How many of you, we go by the beauty parlors, go by everywhere. And the placards you take, you can use those. Everything we have in here tonight, take it with you. This is a buffet of information. All right? Now, you go to www.breachrepairers.org and you can get all of those videos. Send out at least the two, A Star from the East and It's Time to Love Forward. Get on your social media and send them out. 10, 15, 20 people. And then add, join me, right? Join me, join me. Now everybody that's got flyers, wave them up. Watch the difference in the room. See the difference in the room, y'all? Especially my team. Don't ever say you're mobilizing and direct people to a table. That's like trying to raise an offering and you put the table over there and say, if y'all want to give. No. The Bible says bring. Give people opportunity to bring, right? Say bring. Bring. So don't ever put stuff on a table, because that means that what that says is you can if you want to, you don't want to. But when you take something to somebody, that lets them know that you really want them to have it. Right? You really want them to have it. Now, I'm coming to set up the kind of a call to action, and then we've got to leave to get on another call at 8 o'clock, right? My wife here, who is the host, will be starting from the church she pastors, St. James Christian Church on Martin Luther King Court. How I always say court, it's Parkway in Wilson. So let's give St. James and her there to host a hand tonight. Amen. That's where we're starting at 9 o'clock. So she's got to go get on a call. I've got to be on it because we've got tomorrow. We'll be in Greenville and Wilson and radio in Rocky Mount. And last night, Hannah and the team, they were all in, and Yara and everybody was in Greensboro. Right, Hannah? Y'all, I see you shaking your head. Let me know if something ain't right. We can fix it. Okay. All right, because I watch head movements and everything. And so, so we were in Greensboro, and then the night before with the snow, we still did mobilization in Asheville. Now, there are thousands of people joining us online, and we will send this out in the morning on a Substack to about 2 million people. So would you do me a favor? How many of y'all have a placard? Now, that's different than the flyer. I may not get to what I want to say. Watch this. How many people got a placard? All right, Clinton, give me 4 more people. I don't see enough placards in here. Give everybody a placard. We don't have enough. The placards are for you and for you to bring with you on the walk or to hand out. Thank you. Now, everybody doesn't have a placard. We're going to come around. Give me a bunch of folk. Hand them out. Everybody take a placard. All right. We need 2 people on this side. Now, it doesn't have to just be these 4. Some more y'all can join. We can do this quick. Yeah, we got to mobilize. Come on, y'all. Let's mobilize. We'll be showing you how to mobilize. All right. Clinton, I need y'all up here. Y'all get some placards and pass them around. Help the folk. Yeah, anybody that's on my team should be helping right now. Helping with flyers. Helping with those little handbills. Helping, putting stuff out. And y'all can put them on the floor, but I want to show something to people online. All right, now let's hold up all the placards. So everybody online, and can you show here the audience? Good, he got I like you, man, thumbs up. Okay, well, I got an empty space over here, got a hole over here. Let's get in the hole. Somebody shout, forward together. Not one step back. Forward together. Not one step back. All right. We can put those down. Y'all fill up that hole over there. Some people over there feeling real lonely. They don't have a placard. They feel like they're left out. And we're not leaving anybody out. There we go. Not leaving anybody out. Now, what is that? Let me see that, young lady. Let me see that. You. Come here. What does that say? Come up here. What does that say? Let's talk about it. Let's say, join us. Now, we got these folk in here. Now, I know somebody on my team told you to do one at a time. Don't listen to them. Okay. Don't, because they know better than that. This is how you do it. Get you about 3 of them. Okay. And hand them out like that. To one person. Because that way they can take this to what? Yeah, when they leave here. Yeah. Right. Now you got it. Okay, now y'all do that while I'm talking. No, man, that one. Stop. Yeah, what's his name? Tell him don't give you one or nothing. No, young man. No, 2 or 3 at a time, not one. Yeah, that's right. Now you all think what did Jesus, watch this. How many folk in here claim to love Jesus? All right, you claim to love him, so you mean you love his word. What did Jesus say about seed sowing? He said, did he say go 1? Huh? And he said, now some of it's going to fall on what? Rocky ground. Some of it's going to fall on hard. And some of it's going to fall on fertile. But you don't know. The only way you find out is what? Now, how many of y'all from the country grew up in the East from the country? Any of y'all grew up on farms? We called it broadcasting. Right, Pastor? Where'd you grow up, Pastor? Where's that? Where's that? Broadcasting. So how you did fertilizer, how you did certain kind of seed. When you were sowing to grow wheat and different things, or alfalfa, you just, so now come here. They still over there? Yeah, I'm talking to y'all. So Clinton, my team, broadcasting. Not one at a time. Teach the folk. When you come into a room like this, get you 10 folk that's going to help you broadcast. That's the word. Every way. And then we want the folk online to know you can go to www.breachrepair.org. Now, they say, well, Reverend Bob is kind of interesting tonight. Let me tell you why I'm interested. Let me tell you why I'm interested. Tell you why I'm interested. Truth of the matter is I'm not feeling that well. Because the cold weather and all, I have battled ankylosing for 42 years. And I don't normally do this in public, but I'm doing it for a purpose tonight. The way I live my life is, most of y'all see me smiling, but about 80% of my life feels like somebody's got a butcher knife in my hip and legs, and they're just twisting it all the time. And then when you have ankylosing, you have a coldness from the inside. You know what I'm talking about? So it's not even, heat doesn't even help it. It feels like it's ice cold, right? And some of you who have autoimmune diseases, you know it. My wife understands this. And people see you smiling, and they wonder, they see you going, and they don't really understand. Now, I'm not lifting myself up, because I got some friends in here that smile, but just because you're smiling doesn't mean you aren't hurting. Where are my friends? Just because you're smiling doesn't mean you aren't hurting. Where are you? I got a few. There's one. See? So a lot of us around here, we like what's those people, the X-Men? Yeah, we are. We like X-Men and women. And so the only thing that keeps us going is what we love. Really. If purpose didn't get up us in the morning, we wouldn't get up another damn morning in our lives. We would just lay there. But purpose and what we love gets us up. So we came in, I just finished doing an interview to a big station, thinking about yesterday. Right now, I'm standing here, and this ain't about sympathy. I want this to be about me. I'm trying to teach something. And right now, as I'm standing here, I gave my wife one cane. I'm keeping this other cane, but pain is just. But I was standing over there, and something stopped my pain for a few minutes and reminded me why we're doing this. We could have just sent out flyers and say, come to Raleigh. And I know the staff gets frustrated sometimes. We gonna do all this in 1 week, and next week gonna walk? Yep. And then I met Brazil. And Brazil reminded me that if you're not doing this because you love me and love folk like me, then there's no need to do it. That the love that says, we got to do this one more time. We did it from 2007 to 2018, Mar Mondays, HK-on-J, Poor People's Campaign, 2014, Mar Mondays to 2013. 2014, we put 80,000 people in the street, according to USA Today, reshaped, according to many studies, the very energy of politics in North Carolina. And we never endorsed the candidate, but folk who thought they were going to get in just because they were incumbents didn't make it, both in the mountains and the governor's office, because of different kind of energy. It's not about party mobilization, it's about people. And it was at a time when everything was being attacked. Voting rights, North Carolina blocked health care, so forth and so on. And we all came together. They first called us Moron Monday. Yeah. Then they called it Money Mar Monday, suggesting that people were making money off of it rather than being. But after we were persistent, over 2,000 people or so got arrested and rules got changed, and then we went all over the state. One day we did 14 stops in one day in all one of the congressional districts. Now, I wasn't in all those places, I'm not suggesting that, but we did it simultaneously. And then we put out the call to come in February, and thousands of people showed up. And it wasn't just about a day, but they showed up so they could go back home, because sometimes people have to come together in mass mobilization to have mass education so we can have mass participation, see, and then mass organization, and then mass voting. But, and we learned back then that there's a place where you can't keep talking about what you're against. Resistance has a role in social change, but it can't be the only role, because resistance tells you what you're against, but what you're against is not going to move you until you know what you're for. And that's why, for those that know Scripture, Old and New Testament, Judeo-Christian tradition, even in the Muslim tradition, they know this text in Habakkuk. It says, write the vision and make it plain so that the people can grab it and run. You can't run with resistance. You only can run with vision. People perish for a lack of vision, a lack of understanding, a lack of knowledge. And if you keep having gatherings where everything you're talking about is what the folk are doing to you or the perpetrators of those things, then they have the agenda and they're not even in the room. At some point, you have to help people understand what their power is. When David faced Goliath, he didn't talk about Goliath. He said, I come to you in the name of the Lord. When Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego faced the fire, they didn't keep talking about Nebuchadnezzar. They said, the God we serve can deliver, but even if he doesn't, we won't be bowing to you. The psalmist said, I will look to the hill from which comes my help. All my help comes from the Lord. And when that psalm was written, there was a whole lot of stuff going on, but the psalmist knew to get up, he had to look up. And he had to be clear about what was his real motivation. The Bible says about Jesus, when Jesus was struggling in the Gospels, in one part of the Gospels, and the Bible says that God spoke from heaven and reminded Jesus who he was, and then said, if the Son of Man be lifted up, I'll draw. And in other words, you got to lift up something greater than Herod. You can't keep just talking about Herod. And in fact, in that particular text, it says, and God thundered. God had to remind him of who he was. Because resistance has a place, but resistance cannot be the ultimate way you build movements. And authoritarians want you to stay stuck in resistance, because if you stay stuck in resistance, they're the ones being talked about all the time. And the more you talk about what they're doing rather than what power you have, you can depress yourself. You can. The Bible says the power of life and death is in the tongue. If your tongue keeps speaking about what their strength rather than your power and God's power with you, you can end up depressing yourself. Another place in Scripture in Samuel, it says, encourage yourself in the Lord. There's a place in which we have to be moved by a deep purpose, and our deepest purpose is what we love. So I fell in love all over again. And when I fell in love, I got up from that seat and walked over here, and fact of the matter, for a few steps, I didn't feel the pain. And even though I feel it now, the love has got me so that it really don't matter. Because I met Brazil. Come here, Brazil. Brazil. Come here, bring it here. See, I met this, and I saw her, and I said, if we ain't doing what we're doing for her, See, what do I love for her? Most of us have lived the balance of our days, even if we live another 30 years. But what kind of democracy do I want for her? What kind of society do I want for her? She's 3 months old. What do I love for her? That's the question. And if I fall in love with what I want for her and what I really want for the balance of my day and all of those who look like her, for the children and the children yet unborn, ain't no stopping us. Thank you, baby. Ain't no stopping us. Because you'll get up every day. You'll get up every morning. You'll get up every time. Love will do something for you. Not a weak love, but a strong love. There's a story that's told about a young boy who didn't want his mama to come to school because she had all kinds of scars and bruises, and he was embarrassed. And he got a certain age, and his mama said, son, sit down, let me tell you about my love. Says, when you were young, a house caught on fire. And they got me out, but you were inside. And the fire was so bad, they told me I couldn't go back and get you. The firemen, they were protecting me, they were holding me, but somewhere some strength came from me out of the deepest part of my heart. Like the Grinch, my heart grew 10 times bigger, and I burst loose from those firemen, and I ran in that burning house, and I found you. But while I was running in that house, I fell against a wall, and that's why the scar is on my arm, because it burnt deeply into my arm. And I found you, and I wrapped you up to keep you from being hit. But all of these spaces on my face were where the coals were hitting my face as they were falling from the roof. And then I noticed that it was getting so bad with the smoke, and you wouldn't be able to survive, neither would I, so I got on my knees, and that's why my knees are so messed up, because the fire. But I really didn't feel it, because all I was thinking about was my love for you. And I got you out. And so all these scars that you've been ashamed of are love scars. It's the love that wouldn't let you out until I got you out of danger. I know there's some crazy stuff going on now, y'all, but somebody's got to have a love for this nation that's greater than the hate that's being perpetrated. Somebody's got to have a love for our immigrant brothers and sisters than the hate that is trying to run them away. Somebody has to have a love for health care greater than those who are working every day to take it and who have been possessed by some strange spirit that has them thinking that the best use of power is to figure out how many people you can hurt. They are more to be pitied than hated. And we have to love them enough, to work hard enough, to mobilize enough, to have enough power, because some of them need to go home so they can stop hurting people, and maybe at home they'll think about what they have done and maybe get some kind of transformation, but at least they won't have the power to keep hurting people. And in this moment, we got to remember the opposite of love is not hate, is fear. My scriptures teach me that perfect love casts out all fear. And there's a lot of fear out here now. What do you love? So, real quickly, our Constitution in North Carolina says we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all persons are created equal persons. This was written in 1868, endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, among which are life, liberty, the enjoyment of the fruit of their own labor, and the pursuit of happiness. Do you love that? Do you really love wanting to see a state where the weak grow strong and the strong grow great by how they treat the weak, where people have a right, life and liberty, the enjoyment of the fruit of their own labor and the pursuit of happiness? Well, if that's so, it's time for love to take the mic from hate and not just talk about what hate is saying, but talk about what we love. Talk about what'll make you mobilize everybody in your family and your neighbors, right? What do you really love? You know, I'm from the East, raised in Eastern North Carolina, and it was something when Trump called in, and while we're not dealing with so much the resistance tonight, but love, sometimes for context's sake, you have to mention just one time. He called in and told the state MAGA Republicans, go take the 1st Congressional District. And to me, it was so arrogant because it wasn't even thievery, it was robbery. You know, thief is when they come in secretly. This was a robbery right out in front. And they did it. They didn't wait on the 10-year census or anything. They said, we're going to take, and if you know the history of the 1st Congressional District, the pain, the blood, the sweat, and the tears that it took for us to even have it, where black and white and brown people could join together and vote on a candidate of their own choosing. It was a district that the last African-American that served in the Congress after the deconstruction and reconstruction, George White, was forced out of in 1901, and it took us 90 years to get Eva Clayton. 4 times already in the last few years, this crowd has tried to undermine voting rights, gerrymander voting rights. But each time they have met people who love voting rights, who love what the Constitution says, unabridged voting rights. How many of you all love when the Constitution says nobody can deny or abridge your right to vote? How many of you love that? And you're willing to fight for that? Keep this mic up for me. And that's not just for black people, that's for all people, right? And when that happened, after everything else that had gone on, people said, we have to stand up, but we don't need to just have a resistance. We're angry at what they did. We need to focus on the love and the power we have. And so the thought was, why not, we don't need to just keep talking about what happened in Selma in 65. We need to remember 65, but we don't need to live in 65. We need to live in 2026. And if we love what they did in 65, the question is, what are we going to do now? And folks said, why don't we walk 3 days right in the middle of early voting? And while we're walking to Raleigh, we tell folk to walk to the polls and mark early voting same-day registration. That was also won by this movement. And then why not on Valentine's Day and Frederick Douglass' birthday, we have the biggest mass moral march on Raleigh, mobilizing people to come to Raleigh so that all of our silos come together so that we know we're not alone, and then we leave Raleigh and go back to our counties and do micro-mobilizing like never before. And since they bet that the redistricting would work if only 45% of the voters voted, well, what if we make their gerrymandering dummy-mandering by turning out more people than they ever expected in the middle of a midterm? Wouldn't you love that? Wouldn't you just love that? Do you love that? And finally, you know, when you look at the 1st Congressional District, 60,000 households need food, need SNAP. Not black households, 60,000 households, receive food stamps. Do you love those folk that can't hardly make it unless they get some food stamps? Do you love them having some food more than you love us putting more money in missiles and bombs? That's the question. Two hundred and 90,000 people in the 1st Congressional District were insured by Medicaid. Nationally, 72 million people. 72 million people. Do you love the folk that need health care? Do you recognize that cancer doesn't have a color? If you get cancer, you don't die. Cancer doesn't take because you're black. It's not black cancer, white cancer. It's just deadly. And do you love those folk? Some of them are your family members, your neighbors, you know. And you love a nation. In fact, you don't just love Medicaid. What you really want is universal health care for everybody, because and for the media here, that's not a Democratic position or a liberal position. You want to know what it really is? That's a godly position, because if you follow Jesus, if he did anything, he healed people. And he never charged a copay. We're the only country in the world now, the wealthiest of the wealthiest countries in the world, that doesn't offer some form of universal health care. And why is it that every person we elect to the state house or we elect to Congress, they get some form of free health care, but then you don't want the people who elected you to have the same thing? Come on, we love better than that. We don't want to see folk dying because their health care is connected to their job and not their humanity. And do you know, in the 1st Congressional District, for a family of 4, a single adult, it takes $46,000 a year to make a living wage, $105,000 if you got 2 working adults and 2 children. And in the 1st Congressional District, over 50% of the families earn less than that. Earn less than that. But do you love living wages? Do you love people working and being able to take care of their families? And do you love folk having a living wages than giving more money to the corporate greedy who just want to take, and take? If you love living wages, then like that mother who went in the house, are you willing to fight for it? And then, did you know that in the 1st Congressional District alone, there are 566,000 people 18 years or older. In 2024, 380,000 voted, but 185,000 didn't vote. And Trump won by only 11,000 votes. And in North Carolina, the presidency was decided by 183,000 votes. But 1.2 million poor and low-wage people didn't vote. 400,000 or so African Americans. But the number one reason people didn't vote is they said nobody talked to them about the real matters like living wages and health care. They heard a whole lot about what people were against. But there are a whole lot of people that feel abandoned. And if folk are going to be moved to participate in this society, they're not going to be moved by people just telling them, I'm against this, I'm against this. They're going to be moved when folks say, if I'm elected, this is what I'm going to do in the first 25 days, the first 50 days, the first 30 days, the first 40 days. They will be moved when they have a vision they can love. And a vision that they know loves them back. And so, my brothers and sisters, I found my love all over again in Brazil. I said, you know, it's worth it. If fighting for her and those like her and those that are coming is what we have to do, if I love her enough, I can push through pain. And others will push through pain. And you know, it's so good because God has fixed it so Did you realize that now 36 to 42% of every state are poor and low-wage people, and there's not a state in this country, including North Carolina, that if just 10 or 15% of poor and low-wage folk and others would fall in love with a vision for justice that haven't participated, they could change the outcome of every election. We've got power, but people have got to fall in love with using it for right. They got to fall in love with doing it for the right reason, not because you're Democrat, not because you're Republican, but because you're a human being and you want to see public policy that loves all people, that provides equal protection under the law for all people. So I stopped by this church tonight and listening to everybody online to say, come on and join us, because it's time to love forward together. It's time to turn the hate radio off. It's time to stop meanness from acting like it's going to have the final word. It's time for all of us who love justice, who love the establishment of justice, who love providing for the common defense, who love promoting the general welfare for all people, who love ensuring domestic tranquility, and who love equal protection under the law for all people. It's time for all of us. This is a critical moment, not just a battle for democracy, but a battle for civilization, because a mob can be democratic. You can have a democracy in Russia, but it's not worth much because the guardrails have been removed. And if you don't have a democracy where the guardrails of love and truth guide what you do, then the democracy is impoverished. It is not empowered. Is there anybody in here that with the life you have left got some love in your heart to fight one more time? Let's fight one more time. Let's fight for this democracy one more time. Let's love forward together because we believe in all people. It's time to love forward together because we want to see a democracy that works for everybody. It's time to love forward together because we refuse to just give up and sit down. We will not be driven into the darkness. We will not just go away. We will unite our love and set a passion and a fire, and we will voice our love, and we will vote our love, and we will be vigilant in our love, and we will be victorious in our love. And there are three things while you're standing love's got to do, because perfect love casts out all fear. Love has to speak the truth until lies can't stand no more. Touch your neighbor and say, it's time to speak the truth. And then love has to show the vision until people are no longer captivated by the nightmare of injustice. Turn to your neighbor and say, it's time to show a vision that sets people free from the nightmares of injustice. And then perfect love has to stand until change comes. Huh? Not just stand one rally, not just stand one day, not just stand one election, but perfect love has to stand until change comes. Don't you remember? Don't you remember when Martin Luther King at the end of his life told us that? In that last sermon, he said, nothing would be more tragic than for us to turn back now. Don't you remember when he said, we've got some difficult days ahead? I didn't come here to lie to you. Authoritarianism is difficult. Neo-fascism is difficult. These folk are not playing. But if we love right, even some of them might get changed. But we've got to be willing to stand until change comes. And don't you remember when Dr. King said, I might not get where with you, but I've been to the mountain and I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I might not get there with you, but we. Turn to your neighbor and say, we. Not you by yourself, but we. Not somebody by themselves, but we. we will get to the promised land. And that's what we have to understand now. Notice the frame. It's not time for us to just love. It's not time for us to just go forward. It's time for us to love forward together. How long? Until what? Until every valley is exalted and every hill is made low and the rough places are made smooth and the crooked places are made straight, until mine eyes see the glory. And in this moment, when will you see the glory? When people are lifted up, the glory will come. When people are helped up, the glory will come. When people are not left out by themselves, the glory is come. How many of you all want to see some glory come in America? Some glory come in North Carolina. Then it's time for us to love forward together. And I got a sneaky feeling that if we love forward together, we can change some things. People talk a lot about Selma, but here's something that they don't tell, and I'm through. In the midst of the sermon at the end of the Selma to Montgomery March, and this gathering on the 14th may be very well be the most important gathering since Selma. Because in 2014, we had more people than they had in Selma, 80,000 of every race, creed, and color. But it was said that day that the greatest fear of the greedy oligarchy is for the masses of black people and the masses of poor white people to come together and form a voting bloc that would fundamentally shift the economic architecture of the nation. Watch this now. The greatest fear of the greedy oligarchs is us coming together. Let me say that again. The greatest fear of the greedy oligarchs, of the greedy folk who want to take everything from everybody but them and their rich friend, their greatest fear is for us to come together. There comes a point that we ought to help realize their fear. If the greatest fear is all of us coming together, then let's realize their fear. And let's come together. Let's come together with so much love that some of them will change. Let's come together not because of who we hate, but because of what we love. Perfect love cast out all fear. Touch your neighbor and say, I don't feel that much fear no more. You know, if they killed Sister Good, let them have to face all of us. If they killed Brother Alex, let them have to face all of us. Let us make sure that Good and Alex and everybody else that died unnecessarily, that they are not forgotten. Because they went down, we will stand up. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying. Because we love them, then we will live out their hopes and dreams with the rest of the life that we have. Love forward together. 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 Right now. Always say. Love. You got it? Come on, come on. Love. Come on, y'all. Love. Right now, love, forward, together. Right now, love, forward, together. Right now. And to help us do that, there are 4 speakers who are coming. They are way more important than me. And they are coming to tell their testimony and say why they are organizing their community to love forward together. Media, I hope you all will interview them, quote them, because these are the folk that will change and transform this country, this community, and this state. And when they decided that they will no longer be in silence and no longer have hate, let hate have the last word, that decision is the beginning of the change that we will see. It's time, y'all, to love forward together. Hear a little bit of Miss Allen singing, and then hear these powerful testimonies. Love y'all. God bless you.
could help. Love lifted me. Let's do it one more time. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. When nothing else could help. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. When nothing else could help. Love lifted me.
Amen. Come on. Love lifted me. Love lifted me. We want our testifiers to come. One of the things that we do at Repairs of the Breach, we do not let someone stand alone. So if all the testifiers could now come and give why they are mobilizing, why they are here. You can come this way. Why do you want to be a part of this mobilization? Come this way. Announce your name, and then begin your testimony. You can come on down, so make sure we're all in this together.
Yeah, because that's what this is all about, love, right? Hi, everybody. My name is Loretta Scott. I was asked to come and speak to you guys about why it's so important to vote as somebody who has lost their rights and regained them. A bit of my testimony is I'm an 80s baby, 90s lady. I ride. I didn't die. I'm here. But during those circumstances, I'm a convicted felon. A lot of people don't even know when you're a convicted felon. After you complete your probation time, you actually can get your rights back to vote. So a lot of people don't vote because they don't know that. I know that because my mom and dad both was military, so voting was a big thing for us. So I was really sad and disappointed when they took that privilege away. It's so important for me to vote because not only am I a felon to vote against rights that, are unjustified for everybody. I'm also an advocate for people with mental health awareness, and I'm an advocate for autism awareness and dementia and things like that. So I'm a caretaker, so I have to vote for things that will benefit me in the long run. So, it takes love to do all these things. It takes love to even want to get out and vote and change the world. And I hope we can all come together and love for it and make this march powerful. Thank you.
Oh my God. Yes. Come on. Wow. So glad to be up here for y'all. It is very tempting for us to clap when we hear these testimonies.
Yeah.
But I want to invite you into a different posture tonight. When we hear these powerful words, it's heavy when we hear someone say that their voting rights were stripped away from them. In a country that calls itself a democracy, right?
That part.
And we're going to hear other people talk too. And so after
Where's he going? Wait. My God. Lord have mercy. Y'all, forward together. Forward together. I am Carol Olinger. I'm a retired educator. I'm a wife. I'm a mother. I'm an aunt. I'm a cancer survivor. I'm a grandmother. I'm an activist. I'm an organizer. And I get in good trouble with Action and Z.
Y'all, I believe we are at our strongest when we unite for a common good. But what does that really mean? What are our core values? Is it equal opportunity, a just society, partnership, collective action, democracy? I know what it's not. I know it's not snatching our family and friends off the streets. I know that. You know it too. When it feels heavy and the sky is really dark, we need to remember the stars shine the brightest against the blackest backdrop, right? We are those stars. That's us. We ignite change in our communities. We refuse to let our light dim, no matter the circumstances, no matter what our government is doing. I'm a dialysis patient. And not because I simply age gracefully. It's because of the contaminated water that we have here. The contaminant is called PFAS. It's a forever chemical. It literally made me turn into a dialysis patient. I go 3 times a week. I sit in a chair for 5 hours at a time. I had dialysis today. Those needles are big. It's a 16 gauge. You get 2 at a time. They hurt. I also have to have oxygen at night. Sometimes it hurts to move. I have a boot on my foot. And with all the other ailments, my toe, I might lose it. It's a black. It's that one that went to the market. That one? He's trying to go to Harris Teeter, and he took too many bags. He turned colors. He's having problems. Like, for real problems? He didn't make it back yet. On top of all of that, I went to pick up medicine that should have cost me $17. Man, they said 72. What the heck? I didn't get it. I am now advocating for myself, for all the other people we've been advocating for. What the heck is going on? 72 bucks? I didn't have 72 bucks that day. Just like everybody else, we still need gas, we still need to eat. I like Taco Bell chicken nuggets. It's time we shine our light on the truth. The big ugly bill cuts funding for essential programs like Medicaid, food stamps that help everyday families get by and meet their basic needs. Just the basic stuff. They said I only had 3 minutes, so I'm trying to skip down to what I think is the important parts, because everything I have to say is important. We know right from wrong. We stand up and fight for our neighbors. We meet them in the streets. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. I'm going to say it again. No hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here. The heck? We refuse to live in the fear of our own government. If the big bad bill refuses to extend and enhance premium tax credits, over 50 million people will be thrown into the abyss of being uninsured. 200 less North Carolinians will not receive health care through the ACA marketplace. Millions more will face skyrocketing costs for coverage while they struggle for basic needs like housing, food, and daycare. That's a real thing, y'all. Don't get it twisted. That's a real thing. But guess what? We won't be silent. We won't. We'll let our lights blaze. Our communities are coming together. We organize food drives, pantries. We're ensuring safety and support. We choose life. We have peaceful protest. We fight for human rights for all, because 2 are better than 1. Together we resist fascism. If one falls, that's right, we all fall, and we can lift each other up. A rope made of 3 cords is nearly unbreakable. We shine our light with purpose, forging a path to peace. Forward together. Not one step back. I want future generations to know that when historians look back, they will see I did not stay silent. I did all that I could in the moment, not like those who have lost their way, but like those like you and me who truly understand the meaning of life, don't let the wickedness of others extinguish our light. We will continue to work together towards a better future for North Carolinians and all. Our lights will shine brighter together in Raleigh on February 14th for the Mass People's Assembly and the Moral March. Yeah. The importance of coming together, showing love across our issues. Yeah. Will you join me in Raleigh? Yeah. Will you join me in Raleigh? Yeah. Forward together. Not one step back. Forward together. Not one step back. Woo! Your turn.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ariel Carlin. I could talk about a multitude of things tonight, but I'm going to share part of my testimony with you. When I was 7 years old, my father died of ALS, and when I was 20, I started taking care of my grandmother who had dementia and cared for her until she died. So I temporarily quit school so I could help take care of her. And in the fall of 2021, I finished my associate's degree. I was awarded it in May of the following year, and not even a month later, I was in critical condition and almost lost my life. I was a perfectly fine 23-year-old, and suddenly I developed a condition called metabolic acidosis, and I had to be put on a ventilator, thank you, at 23 years old. And I had dialysis, emergency dialysis from a port in my neck, but I survived, and I have mostly fully recovered. But if I did not have health insurance, that hospital stay would have cost me $300,000. So thankfully I had insurance, and I still do. However, my health care premium has gone up over $200, making it over $500 a month. Who can afford that? I also receive mental health care because of all of the trauma that I've been through. And if I lose my insurance, I won't have access to any of that anymore. And if a sporadic, illness happens to me again and I don't have health insurance, I don't know what I'll do. And I know I'm not the only one in this position. I know there are hundreds of thousands of people all over the country who are at risk of losing their health insurance. And what will we do if we don't have access to dialysis clinics where they literally take the blood out of our bodies and filter it and put it back in so we can survive? If dialysis patients don't have that, their kidneys will fail, their brain will fill with toxins, and they will end up pretty much just how I was at 23 years old. So we all have to stand up for each other. We all love our neighbors, and nobody deserves to be without health care, period.
Good evening. My name is Antonio Valcarcel. I'm 43 years old. I'm a veteran and an aspiring elementary school teacher who's going on 6 years working in education right here in Cumberland County. Thank you. Pay for teachers. I volunteer with Scouts, and I also serve as the youth leader right here at Crossroads Church. Like so many of you, and like my mom, I give when I can and where I can. My brain wanders sometimes, and in working in education, I've thought a lot about my coworkers. I've thought a lot about my neighbors and about my students' families, and I see different jobs, different journeys. But so many of us also share the same stressors, and we do the same math month after month. I see colleagues, educators who are giants to me, who have to work second jobs even though they have to take home work every day. Parents working 2 or 3 jobs sometimes, unable to be home or as involved as they would like to be. Small business employees who have had to reject raises in their wages because earning just a little bit more would cost them their SNAP or medical benefits. Small families, like us at one point, who saw a 50% increase in their rent in a 3 to 4 year period. My family, my parents immigrated from Colombia, South America in 1966. That same year, my sister was born. You know, they came for opportunity. They came for me and my sister. They came to work. And in Colombia, every year, Congress announces an increase in minimum wages. Now, before you celebrate, that same day, those property managers, those HOAs, they watch the TV, they listen to that radio, they're watching their computers. And as soon as that rate goes up, so do theirs. The math ain't mathing for us, man. It's not mathing for us. And, you know, here in the United States, I feel like we live by this mantra, whatever the market can withstand, whatever it can bear. I've literally heard that. Coming from a marketing background prior to education, it's about selling more product to more people for more money. And that's what they charge. They charge for homes, healthcare, medicine, food, and so many other things. And who's sitting just beyond that mantra? It's my teachers, my parents, my kids, my disabled, my elders. They're all sitting just beyond that mantra. Everyone I love. But it isn't just about me and the people I love. It's all about us, right? I'm thinking about our small businesses too. People who follow their dreams, you know, and some of them who haven't made that connection yet, that SNAP and Medicaid do benefit everybody, including them. So I always question, why are there so many people that choose to make careers out of killing off programs that people and local economies depend on, instead of trying to improve on them? We will always have poor people. We don't have to try and keep those numbers up. I'd like to make it clear that I am frustrated. And you can probably surmise that I believe that there's no one single simple fix for the disparities that we are addressing here tonight. Raising wages matters, but it's only the tip of the iceberg, and we cannot keep solving one problem while creating others. Move forward with wisdom. And I changed this one line tonight. Move forward with love. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being here. And thank you for moving forward. Love forward. Good night.
Thank all of you for coming this evening. I had something prepared, but it's not even appropriate. From the love that I feel from all of you in this house tonight. Okay? So let's talk about some facts here. We are the wealthiest country in the world. In the world. We have the largest economy in the world. I was born and raised in England, where you have health care for everyone. I adopted all of my children from the Department of Social Services. 4 of them. One of them's here tonight, Miguel, who sang. He's Hispanic, getting ready to go to see his girlfriend in New Hampshire. And I'm worried about ICE in the airport. I live next to a black family that actually, the godmother of their son. And she said, you know, Dawn, we have the talk with our boys. I didn't know what the talk was. But I know now. I have a Hispanic son, and I had to have the talk. There's something wrong with that. There's something wrong with that. We are here with one another to unite. We are the majority, not the minority. We are the majority, but we have to stand together. Of my 4 children, 2 have disabilities, one profound, just got out of the hospital. And my son, I don't know where he's at, was at home when I went to pick up my granddaughter at daycare and administered the one squirt of nasal spray to save his life. That was $1,000 for a squirt. $1,000 for a squirt. Now, with saying that, I've been a healthcare provider for more than 25 years. For more than 25 years. I practiced in Robeson County, a minority, majority, impoverished community. The blessing of my lifetime, with the exception of my children. I'm white. And when you work with minorities, they know whether you fake or not. You can't fake it. You can't fake it. We have to join together. We have got to speak up. We have got to stand up. We've got to help each other up. We got to give a hand out. We have to be here together for one another. This with health care, this with children, this with voting rights, this with poverty, does not have to be. Does not have to be, but you have to show up to make a difference. You have to hold your hand up to pull someone else up. And if you haven't been down there, you don't know what it feels like. And if you've been down there, and I have, believe it or not, you better know who to remember to keep thanking, because he's the one that pulled you out. Don't forget that. You cannot forget that when the crisis passes. We have people in our neighborhoods that are in the crisis of their lifetimes, and their next door neighbor doesn't even know it. There's something wrong with that. This is a neighborhood. You have to reach out. I don't know her. I do not know her, but she is my sister. She is my sister. He's my brother. We have to do this together, because if it's done together in his name, there is nobody, Trump name or not, that can make things any different than what we can do, and we can do it. I love you, and I thank you. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes.
Let's give all these testifiers one more round of applause. Y'all can go back to your seats if you want to, if you need to. Thanks for being up here. Again, my name is Clinton Wright, and I'm one of the organizers at Repairs the Breach, and I want us to get out this card again. I know that we've talked about these materials. Reverend Barbara did such a fabulous job of getting us all organized around these materials, and I just want to double down and emphasize that normally at events like this, we would have a pledge card, and there would be spaces for you to write out your name and what you're committed to and when we can expect to see you where. And we decided that we needed a different kind of card for this week, for this mobilization. We needed a card that had everything that you need to be a mobilizer and an organizer for this Love Forward Together movement. So I want us to start on the back. The back is the side that says we love and mobilize forward for a future of. And I wonder if we could collectively read all together as a congregation tonight these things that we're mobilizing for together, just to remind ourselves. So let's start with We Love and Mobilize. We'll read the title, and then we'll read down the left-hand column and then the right-hand column together. Here we go. We love and mobilize forward for a future of unabridged voting rights, spreading love, not hate, keeping peace, not ICE raids and unchecked militarism, living wages, ending poverty, welcoming immigrants, embracing religious values of mercy, grace, empathy, and not religious nationalism, supporting fully funded public education, guaranteeing health care for all, saving our environment instead of turning it over to the polluters, letting the people be in control, not a few millionaires and technocrats, care for all, forward together. Now, that's right, not one step back. Now, why did we just read that together? Because inevitably, you're going to take this card somewhere, and you're going to give it to someone, and they're going to be like, wait, you're going to walk from Wilson to Raleigh in the cold. And then what are you doing in Raleigh? And you have all these words right here, all these words to talk to them about. This is your script. This is your organizing guide. And we have 500 more cards over there, y'all. You can take as many as you need. We need to hang them up in every coffee shop, every library, every church needs a stack of these. Now, I want you to take out your phone. Sorry, Pastor, if I'm having everybody take out their phones in your church. But we need our phones today because we have this QR code. And this QR code, I don't understand it. It's some sort of internet whimsical magic. But if you open up your camera app on your phone and hover your camera app right over top of that QR code, you'll see a yellow square, and then down on the bottom, you'll see a little yellow box that says bit.ly. Click on that word bit.ly, and you will land on the Repairs of the Breach website like magic. And if you scroll down on that page just a little bit, there'll be a link that says, register for the march from Wilson to Raleigh, for the March on Raleigh, to Love Forward Together. And you'll go to our landing page, and there are so many materials there. That's where those 2 videos are that we watched earlier in this worship service today, in this rally today. That is where you can register a bus that you're organizing, or a car caravan that you're organizing, or a church van that you're organizing. That's where you can personally say, I'm coming to the march, count me in the number. So this card is everything you need to do the work of the next steps so that we can march from Wilson to Raleigh next week on the 11th, 12th, 13th, and then on the 14th, stand together in a massive, nonviolent love army in the streets of Raleigh. Are you with me? Yeah. Love forward together. Love forward together. Not one step back. It has been such a pleasure to be with y'all tonight. This is the end of our program. Are we singing one more song on the way out, Yara? Awesome. Yara's going to close us out with one more song. Let's rise to our feet and sing one more song.
Okay, here we go. Look at you standing, all right? Okay. This song says, somebody's hurting my brother, and it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. It's gone on. Somebody's hurting my brother, and it's gone on. And then all together we'll say, and we won't be silent anymore. It's a call and response, and we won't be silent anymore. I'm going to sing it through as the choir rehearsal version, and then we're going to jump in, okay? So I'll say, oh, somebody's hurting my brother, and it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on far too long. I tell you, it's gone on far too long. Oh, somebody's hurting my brother, and it's gone on far too long, and we won't be silent anymore. more. You got that? All right. You ready for the real version now? That was choir rehearsal. Let's put some rhythm to it. And I might take it up just a little bit. I have a tendency to go baritone. Right? Oh, somebody's hurting my brother, and it's gone on far too long. Yes, it's gone on. I tell you, it's gone on far too long. Somebody's hurting my brother, and it's gone on far too long. And we won't be silent anymore. Did you hear? Somebody's hurting my sister, and it's gone on. Yes, it's gone on. I tell you, it's gone on. Oh, somebody's hurting my sister, and it's gone on. And we won't be silent anymore. Did you know somebody's lying to the people, and it's gone on? Yes, it's gone on. I tell you, it's gone on. Oh, somebody's lying to the people, and it's gone on. And we won't be silent anymore. Here's the last one. Well, if we've been just a little too quiet, you know it's gone on. Yes, it's gone on. I tell you, it's gone on. Oh, if we've been just a little too quiet, you know